Hello, welcome to the review of LEGO DREAMZZZ 71472, Izzie's Narwhal Hot Air Balloon. This has 156 pieces, is rated for ages 7+, and has between 1 to 2 minifigures depending on how you count it. This set came out just earlier this year, on January 1st, 2024, and retails for $15.99. Without further ado, let's get into the review. Starting off first, here we have Izzie herself as well as her little bunny Bunchu, and I think the design of this character is really great with that new hairpiece. We kind of seen like a similar color scheme in the one Lego Movie 2 character. I forget her name. I'll pop it up on the screen here if I can find it. And this sword, which is similar to some swords seen in other themes, but I feel like it's a new piece. I'm not entirely sure on that. And the print of the character herself is pretty good, as well as that of Bunchu. And all of these prints and stuff, I believe, are new, especially the ones on Izzie and Izzie herself. Here with the face print, there is also a secondary face. If you can see that right there, and they're both really good with some really interesting details there. Next up, we have this Grimmspawn, I believe they're called. They're little like gremlin things, and this is why I said in the title that it depends how you count some of these characters, because I personally wouldn't count this as a full minifigure. It does have like a little body piece, which is a new piece, but I don't think that's enough to qualify it as a full minifigure. But nonetheless, I think it looks really cool, and it has like this weird carrot thing piece as like part of its arm, so it has like an extendo arm, and in the box and stuff is depicted as like stealing the bunny, so that is interesting. I don't know if that comes into like the lore of the series or whatnot, but because I haven't watched it. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I believe these guys are included in a lot of the Dream sets. But yeah, with the figures out of the way, let's get into the builds. So I know I said I'd talk about the build next, but I do gotta mention something about the instructions, which is that there's these cool like graphics and actual like detail and stuff put into like the designs of the pages and stuff. They all just kind of have this glow to them and very like interesting look with like little graphics spread throughout the entire thing, and it's just really cool. And I wanted to compare it to most other like modern things. So like here we have the newer Clone and Droid Battle Pack instructions, where it's just very plain and gray, and a lot of modern instructions are like that, and I really like the flair that these Dream sets have. I only have the one, so I don't know if this is across the entire line, but I would assume so from the style of the boxes and stuff. I would assume this is a mainstay across the line, and I think that is really cool, a really cool detail to have, just with, you know, very interesting looking instructions, where it's like, you know, it's got a bit of visual interest to it, unlike most other modern instructions where it's just boring and gray. So yeah, I just figured that was worth mentioning real quick, and with that out of the way, we can get into the actual build itself, which this is one of two. I will not be reviewing both builds, but I will mention it briefly. This is the main build that you see on the front of the box, and is the first like full build in the instruction manual. So you just continue building at the part where it splits, and you get this. But there's also a separate build, which is kind of like a Santa's sleigh-esque thing. But yeah, the actual Narwhal itself stays the same, so we'll go over that first, with the nice fins and the very like rounded look. Immediately when I saw this in the stores, I knew I had to have it, just because it looked really cool. And the mouth even opens up. I had extra pieces stored in there, but the mouth is loose enough to where, like, if you pick it up or do much of anything, it doesn't really like lock down or anything. So I have lost some of the pieces already, but that's mainly from me like knocking it over and stuff, so can't really knock the set too much on that. This is a bit loose, but I don't know what else they could do. Maybe have like a 2x2 modified, where it's like half plate, half tile, and it could just kind of tack down a little bit more. Would have given it a little bit more grip so that it stays down like when you want it to, because sometimes, you know, it can flop out and stuff like that, and you don't want things flopping out. Yeah, so then the little canister cabin thing, I'm not sure what to call it. I don't know anything about hot air balloons. Down here also it looks very good and has like these little balloon things. I'm not exactly sure what they're supposed to represent, and there's some like gold detailing, like a little telescope so the characters can see what's going on. It's just pretty detailed for like a small little build like this, and I just think it looks really good overall. And yeah, it's just a pretty cool set overall. Now I'm going to show the back of the box and kind of explain what the other part of the build is. So as pictured on the back of the box, the other version of this build that you could do is this little sleigh like carriage type like style thing here with the Narwhal, of course, still pulling it. I think it looks really good and pretty cool, but I just kind of prefer the hot air balloon look, and I will not be building that or reviewing it separately. That's just kind of why I chose this one over the other one, because I think it looks a little bit better in my opinion. But as I just said, that's a matter of opinion, so who cares? So the only couple like problems that I've had specifically with the set is, of course, the thing flopping out. Sometimes these can get like a little bit wobbly, like these feel like they would fall off a lot, but they really don't. And the other, like the only main problem besides this just being too loose in my opinion is this back fin here. I've knocked it off pretty easily. Sometimes it's only held in by that one clip, and if it was two clips like the two clip version, it would definitely stick in better, but you would probably lose the ability to build that second build, because it seems like it relies on two clips being on either side of this. So that's kind of a drawback of going with that other option that I mentioned. But yeah, it's a really good set overall, and I'd say it's definitely worth the little $16 price point here at 156 pieces, and it feels like a good value for it. You're getting like a figure and a half here if I bring them back over. Pardon the cut there, but like I was saying, you definitely get a good value with the like figure and a half included here. I'm counting him as half a figure just because he's not like, well, he's not a full figure. And the other thing that I do wish they included in this set is the little like stand here, similar to what I have here, which can be found on the Stab Speeder in the newer Lego Star Wars Super Battle Pack with the droids and clones as well. But yeah, it's very cool overall, and I think it's a pretty good value at 16 bucks most places. Some places you might be able to find it a little bit cheaper, or like roped in with deals, definitely eventually, like later on in its life cycle, which will probably be about 2 years. It's not confirmed yet, but I'm assuming it's about 2 years just because that's usually the average. You might be able to find it for even cheaper if you really don't care about it as much and you're like willing to wait, but you still want to get it eventually. But yeah, it's definitely a solid pickup, and when looking at the Dreams theme, it was the most eye-catching, like most interesting looking set of the theme for me, and that's why I picked it out. I don't know if I'll be reviewing any more Dream sets. Time will tell, but yeah, this is just the coolest one, and I figured I would pick it up and check it out. So yeah, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.